Hello, Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we will understand about the autonomic nervous system, the involuntary. Will not control with our body, so we will not control. So it contains parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. So we will understand with the cellular mechanism what will be the change of the cell's physiology. So the cellular physiology. So the parasympathetic nervous system is rest and digest response, while the sympathetic nervous system is the fight and flight response. Let's understand about the nerve innervation. So first we will understand about the parasympathetic nervous system and how this parasympathetic nervous system will change the physiology of the cell, while the sympathetic nervous system we will discuss also. This is the cross section of the spinal cord which that stimulate the stimulation of some external environment, the basically digestion, etc. So this is the gray matter and white matter and the dorsal root of ganglion. So the ventral root of ganglion is involving as an interneuron will lead to preganglionic nerve is here, and this is the myelinated will lead to produce the acetylcholine for parasympathetic neurotransmitter. This acetylcholine will bind with another postganglionic neuron. This postganglionic neuron through a acetylcholine receptor. After this binding through synapse will lead to excitation is known as the depolarization of the postganglionic nerve fiber. This postganglionic nerve fiber will release the acetylcholine. This acetylcholine is basically the bind with the several type of tissue like blood vessel for the dilation of the blood vessel. On the other hand, the digestive system for the peristalsis and the releasing of the releasing of the insulin due to the exocytosis from the beta cell of pancreas is the example, and it will target to the several tissue like fat, muscle and liver, the adipocyte and myocyte as well as hepatocyte. In this way, the G-coupled protein receptor for generally will activate to produce the cyclic AMP via a adenylate cyclase enzyme, and the PIP2 and diacylglycerol will separate to produce PIP3. This PIP3 will lead to endoplasmic reticulum to efflux of the calcium. The efflux of the calcium will rise the calcium in the cytoplasm of the cell, the general cell, any cell. In this way, the calcium rise will lead to a vesicle exocytosis. Vesicle can be a hormone, a neurotransmitter, or other things. It will be work for the paracrine or endocrine or exocrine. On the other hand, the cytoplasmic calcium will bind with the troponin through actin, lead to myosin activation, will lead to smooth muscle contraction in the digestive system for the peristaltic movement, for the digestion of the fat and protein as well as carbohydrate in the duodenum, stomach as well as the large intestine. On the other hand, here is the several cell, for example, will lead to lipogenesis in the adipocyte, glycogenesis in the liver and muscle, growth in general cell, anabolism for general cell, and ATP decrease due to the biogenesis of some molecule, and glucose decrease, and in this way the sleep trigger and rest and digest, and the digestion of food as well as storage of sugar and secretion of enzyme in gut and saliva release. Saliva will release. The parasympathetic nervous system is stimulation means the recovery of the body by muscle development due to the glycogenesis, and liver for the glycogenesis, and the adipose tissue will lead to adipogenesis to store the fat rather than the lipolysis. But anyhow, let's understand about the sympathetic nervous system. So what is that sympathetic nervous system? The major neurotransmitter involved is the norepinephrine for the physiological changes of the cell. The cold, drugs and hormone is the major stimulant will lead to sympathetic nervous system enhance, will bind the exocytosis of the neurotransmitter norepinephrine. It also produced from the adrenal gland. So in this way, the adenylate cyclase will increase the cyclic AMP to increase the protein kinase A And the PIP3 will also trigger a non-fatty acid activator, will lead to PIP3 to exocytosis of the calcium and rushes the calcium into the cytoplasm to increase, while the lipid droplet will lead to lipolysis to produce free fatty acid, and the gene activation through a protein kinase A to UCP1 level mitochondrial biogenesis and the brown adipose tissue hyperplasia and hypertrophy. And in this way, basically, this is basically the heat production from the UCP1 and in the inner mitochondrial matrix, rather than the ATP synthase enzyme activity work more, but the UCP will work more for the production of heat. On the other hand, the exocytosis through the calcium in the several tissue for exocytosis of the hormone, exocytosis of the some other things, and like glucose or other things which that will rushes into the blood circulatory system. The brown adipose tissue is here. The norepinephrine will bind with the beta 3 adrenergic neuron receptor. In this way, the ATGL and hormone sensitive lipase and perilipin will inhibit the triglyceride to convert the free fatty acid and glycerol, with the carnitine palmitol translocase 1 enzyme used to beta oxidation of the fatty acid lead to produce more heat in the brown fat. On the other hand, the norepinephrine will bind with the beta 3 adrenergic neuron in the white adipose tissue, lead to perilipin, and in this way, the hormone sensitive lipase enzyme will increase, and the monoacyl glycerol will increase, and the free fatty acid and the glycerol, which that will enter into the blood circulatory system, go into the liver for the low density lipoprotein production or for use as energy to produce more heat. So in this way, basically the exocytosis of the hormone like glucagon, hormone sensitive lipase enzyme production, epinephrine and norepinephrine, cortisol, catalase and catabolic hormone, which that work for the sympathetic nervous system response. And in this way, the catabolic activity will occur mostly in the sympathetic nervous system rather than the anabolic activity like the parasympathetic nervous system trigger. The ketogenesis and gluconeogenesis and lipolysis, the glucogenolysis will occur. In this, the ketones will produce more if the further going on the sympathetic nervous system activation. I hope you make sense about that. The sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system self physiology. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video for this time. Bye.